Welcome to Creators Corner, a Charlevoix Circle of Arts YouTube series where we highlight a new Michigan-based artist every second Monday of the month. Hello, I am Ebony Amber, your host of Creators Corner here at Charlevoix Circle of Arts, and today our very special guest is Sharon Smithem. Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and Sharon has taught classes here at the Charlevoix Circle of Arts and is a regular participant in the gallery's holiday market. She also has many items available right here in the gift shop, and she is a member of the C3 or Charlevoix Creative Collective group and participated in the group's 2023 exhibit entitled Tools of Creativity. So that's very cool. Very engaged and involved with the circle for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, and so how long have you been in this area?
I've been in the area at about 7 years.
Oh, okay. And where did you live before that?
I lived in Montague, Michigan.
Oh, okay. So always in
Always
Michigan
by
somewhere.
the lake, yep. Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Yes.
And so have you always been creative or?
I've always been creative since a little girl. Yeah.
And how did that evolve for you? Where did it start?
Where or when?
Both.
Probably in art class in first grade.
Yeah. So it followed you through school.
Yeah.
And then after you graduated high school, did you go on to get an education in art?
Yes. So in high school, they have the tech center,
Mm-hmm.
and I took commercial art there for 2 years. And then I went to Kendall School of Design in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
So what is commercial art?
Well, back then, it's more of magazine illustration.
Cool.
A little bit of printing, like, printers, and we didn't do typesetting, but because that was a little later. But anyway, so that's commercial art.
And did commercial art follow its way through your career? Like, did you use those techniques throughout your artistic career?
I'm still an illustrator, but I did fine art painting.
Mm-hmm.
And so back and forth on those two things, plus a lot of learning other mediums and just having fun. And
I know you're a Renaissance woman when it comes to art for sure. You do all kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of the illustrations, you have a book in the gift shop here at the Circle of Arts called Mushroom House Man.
Yes,
and it's authored by Alice McGinty.
Mm-hmm.
How did that come about?
So that was a fun story. So let's see, 2 summers ago, I have a rowing scull, which is not a kayak. It's 21 feet long, wooden, and I get it on top of my little Crosstrek Subaru, right? And so I came to this lake, Susan Lake over here, and I drive in, and there's 2 folks over there putting their kayaks, out of the water. So I'm taking mine off, and they're looking at me going, wow. And I say hi, and I see, we just start talking. And so I kind of stopped and started talking to them. They were extremely friendly, and it was Alice and her partner, Alan.
Oh, okay.
And so Alice says, well, I'm a children's book author. And I went, well, I'm an artist. I'm like, oh my God, this is great. And so we just talked, said, hey, let's get together and have lunch. So we did. And all summer, this was the beginning of the summer, all summer we kind of, had little times together. And she'd tell me about what she was doing and the book she was doing. And it was about Earl Young. And so I'm like, this is so great. Mm-hmm. And I showed her all my artwork. And so finally at the end of the summer, she says, I want you to illustrate my book. And I'm like, yes.
Can you tell us?
It was so cute.
Yeah, it's a great coincidence that you guys just happen to be there together.
Because she lives in downstate. It's not like she's from around here.
Okay. So can you tell us a little bit about the man it's based on?
Earl Young. Yeah, I can. He came to Charlevoix when he was 11, and that was back in the 1900s. And he went to architect school, didn't like it. He says, this is kind of boring. I want to do something I want to do. And he was just taken with the Lake Michigan and the boulders. Mm-hmm. So he just started didn't have any training, had people build him houses. He told them what he wanted, and he just kept going.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So did you use some of his techniques and his artistic creativity when you were creating the images for the book? Did you look to him for some influence there? I know there's some of his houses that you illustrated.
Yeah, I did a lot of history research on him, and used a lot of photographs from back then, and reproduced the houses in my style. So.
And was this the first children's book that you illustrated?
I illustrated the cover and a few pages in a book before that for Chuck Cleland, and it's a nonfiction about Native American in the UP. So I did that. I've just started and stopped many myself. And so basically this is the first big one that's published, and I did all the work, yes.
So you have some in the works that you're waiting to get finalized and sort of come out with your own book. Are you doing are you authoring it as well?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's more of a picture book.
Oh, cool. Can you tell us a little bit about it, or is it a secret?
Well, this one I probably won't ever finish.
Okay.
But I started an ABC book.
Oh, nice.
And so each page was a bird, some kind of a bird, because I was really into birds back then. And so say it's a cardinal. And then being an illustrator, I like to add like all kinds of backgrounds. So I had let me go to the bluebird because I remember that one better. A bluebird sitting on a blueberry branch at the break of day. So I tried to incorporate a little rhyme, use the bee, and illustrate the page.
I love that idea. Well, I hope you finish it one day, because I'll be the first one to be purchasing that book. It sounds awesome.
Thank you.
So your work really runs the gamut. You make jewelry, you paint, you do sculpture, everything. You're doing everything. You're illustrating. But one of the things that I love about your work is your mosaics and your big pieces. What is the process difference between creating a big mural as opposed to a smaller painting? Do you draw it out first and then work piece by piece, or how does that process go for you?
Before I used projectors, I would graph everything. Okay. So you draw your big design on graph paper and sort of have numbers. That was the old way. So, and then you'd graph wherever you're doing your mural, and I've done side of buildings.
I know.
So
amazing. That
big. And you'd look at your paper, and this is one, and you just do this is the old way. They should still teach kids, but there's computers. And so in number one, you'd see whatever line it is, and then number two, you'd just keep graphing the whole thing out. And that's one way. And then, of course, I got a pretty good projector that projected images later. But I did a lot of very large public murals.
And what has been your most complicated project?
I did, for Art Prize 2010, I built a 12-foot by 8-foot mural. And that was, I wanted to use like a lot of my skills. So it had painting, it had glass mosaic, it had collage, found objects, drawing, all in this piece.
Wow.
And it had a message, and that was pretty powerful, and that was kind of one of my favorite projects.
What was the message?
The message was about women. There was 6 women faces. I wanted to do each ethnicity, and it was just empowering women and giving women courage to get through any kind of tragedy or drama or conflicts in their life.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And speaking of women, you happen to be one, and you're an artist, and you raised children.
Yes.
So what was it like for you to balance all of that stuff?
When I had a family, I was a stay-at-home mom. Back in the early days, I did stained glass windows. So I did that at home whenever I could, usually at night. And I wasn't so involved back then until they, went to school, got older, and then I did more and more. So
yeah, from that experience, what advice would you give women who are parents raising a family but also want to do creative projects?
And they're staying home,
right? Or maybe they have a job.
Yeah, that's a lot of balancing.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, I guess just use any minute you can to be creative, because you can't give that up. I kind of put it on the back burner a little bit, but it's always there and it's in you and you have to do it.
Right. Yeah, I believe that too. And as far as your process goes, what's that like for you? Are you somebody that gets up at 7 a.m. and gets to work, or do you vary in your timing, or do you have to have your special cup of coffee, or what is it? What does it look like for you?
Well, when I was doing it depends. It depends on the project. For the art prize piece, I was so motivated. I'd get up as soon as it was light. My studio was in my backyard because it was so big I had nowhere to do it, and I'd work until it got dark. So that was really exciting. But other times it would be more, am I inspired? I have to have a quiet time, and I'll have a cup of coffee.
That's a magic trick for a lot of us. How do you transport a piece of work that's, what did you say, 8 feet long?
It was 12 feet wide, 8 feet tall, and I built it. It was very heavy. I built it in 3 panels, and they bolted all together. So
and then you
had a trailer.
The scary process of driving it where it needs to go and everything.
Was in Grand Rapids. Yep.
Wow, that's very cool. So you also make jewelry.
A little bit. I dabble in jewelry, the beaded work, and
it makes sense.
I would love to learn silver, but that's maybe someday.
I could totally see how your work could translate into jewelry. It just makes sense with all the pieces, and you have such a great eye for color and combining different elements. A lot of your work involves nature and animals. Does that speak to who you are as a person?
Yes.
Yeah,
I love nature. Animals, peaceful things, being outdoors. Yeah.
So is that a location in which you find a lot of your inspiration, and is that a place that you spend a lot of time when you're not creating artwork? Yeah. Yes.
Do a lot of photography, just thinking, I suppose.
Very cool.
Yeah, always creating in my mind, so it's like I'm really never resting.
I think that's true for a lot of artists, right? They always have either the next project going or some sort of something.
It's hard to just meditate.
Yeah. Well, for a lot of artists, creating is their meditation, right? Yeah. So they need it because that's when their mind goes quiet a little bit. So who are your artistic influences, would you say?
When I was younger, I wanted to go to Italy and learn Renaissance painting. That was it for me. It was so beautiful. It was so realistic, and I was very into realism, and I'm still pretty into it. Then Gustav Klimt. I really like his artwork, and Alphonse Mucha, the Art Nouveau era, arts and crafts. That's where I probably am today. So they're pretty.
Yeah. And is there anything that you haven't done yet that you want to do with a new medium or with mediums that you've already been creating in that you just haven't finished that project yet?
I took printmaking in college, and I absolutely love printmaking. I'd like to do a lot more of that. Okay. Incorporate it with painting and printmaking. Yeah. Very
cool. And so do you ever get an artistic block? And if you do, what do you do to get yourself out of that?
That's a good question. Yes, I do. And I usually look up artists, look at their work, talk to friends that are creative, and try to get things going again.
Yeah,
Yeah. Maybe take a walk.
Get yourself back out in nature.
Yeah.
What is your favorite animal to draw or paint?
I really like dogs.
Yeah. They've got so much personality.
I've done a lot of dogs, for people.
Yeah, and I love your horses.
Oh, thank you. Horses too.
Yeah.
Well, everything I do, I've noticed, and people have told me this, so the horses are like a real powerful animal.
Mm-hmm.
And when I do the fine art paintings, I did like large sunflowers, and those are like big, powerful flowers. So I like that kind of thing.
Do you ride horses also?
I don't.
You don't? We got to get you up on one. Maybe inspire a whole new thing
I would
for
love
you.
to, but no, I don't have a horse, and I don't ride horses.
Well, that's the next chapter, I think. We're going to get you. I used to ride horses, so
Okay.
you and me, I'll have to relive that
They're
experience.
just
It's been a
so
while.
big and gentle at the same time.
They are. Horses are lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so much for this. It's been wonderful to talk to you. As I
Thank you.
said, I'm just blown away by your work. I think it's absolutely gorgeous.
Thank
And
you.
I look forward to that ABC book.
Okay.
I might be the reason that you finish it. I'll be writing you emails. Where's the
Okay.
book? No, but
You can write out little rhymes for me, and that would help.
we could work on
That
that
would be
for
a
sure.
great
If you need
idea.
help, I'm here for you for sure.
Okay, thank you.
But yes, so thank you again. And if anybody has any more questions for Sharon, you can check the description box down below. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you.
All right, that's
great.
it.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Zane and I would like to give a heartfelt thank you to all of the Circle of Arts staff and artists. We deeply enjoyed getting to know everyone and putting together this mini-series highlighting Michigan-based creatives. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel and hit the bell down below. These are 2 easy ways to show Michigan artists just how much we appreciate their contribution to our beautiful state.